A lot of people want to weigh in. Let's go to Laura in Arkansas on the Outkick VIP line. Thanks for being a VIP. Laura, what you got for me?
What's up? It's Lauren. That's
Lauren.
okay. Common mistake.
Yes.
Clay, you're sending me over the edge with this. I have a 14 and a 12-year-old boy. I've grown up, coaching them, all their sports. They love Madden. They love all this stuff. And this Kaepernick stuff, they're going to put him in. He's not on a team. He's not on a team. They'd be like, hey, Lauren, you were really good at soccer in high school, and we liked you all right. We're going to put you in Madden. That makes no sense. That makes no sense. I don't want to be all caring about this, but I am the whole idea about sports is that if it's in the game, it's in the game. He's not in the game. If you want to make him an announcer, you want to put him on a commercial, you want to run a Nike banner, run the Nike banner. I don't care. But he's not in the game.
Does it make you less likely to want to buy the game for your 14 and 12-year-old?
Screw the kids. They're not getting it. And I'm going to tell my husband, who's got the PS4 account, who they have to, go to download or whatever. No, I'm done. I'm done. If they want it, then they can go mow a bunch of yards, they can go do a bunch of stuff, and they can waste their money. I don't know if it's COVID. I don't know what the deal is, but this is sending me over the edge this morning.
Thank you for the call. Thank you for being a VIP too, Lauren. I got to tell you, I don't want to buy it for my kids. Ordinarily, I'm like, hey, you want to buy Madden? That's kind of fun. Let's see what the teams are going to be ranked. Let's see what the players are going to be ranked. I don't want to do it. Maybe the kids are going to be able to persuade me, but this decision by Madden makes me less likely to buy the video game. And they've never made any decision before that's made me less likely to buy the video game. And I have to think the vast majority of parents are in agreement with me. Not only is it dishonest to put him in the game, but to put him above half of the starters in the NFL is absolute insanity, particularly because their marketing and selling point is how honest their ratings are. Oh, we're valuing all the players the best way we possibly can, except for Colin Kaepernick, who suddenly is better than half the starters in the NFL, despite the fact that he's never played in the last 4 years. It's absolute insanity. We got a bunch of people who want to weigh in. Who should we go to next, Dub?
We got Jose in Fremont.
Jose, what do you think?
What's up, fellas? Hey, Clay, check this out. I buy 4 copies every year. I buy 2 deluxe copies for my sons, and I buy the other ones as early Christmas gifts for my brothers and my nephews. Now, I'm not going to buy any of those at all because I'll tell you what, that's another escape that we use to get away from everything. And now you're trying to do this propaganda. We're not tripping on Derek Carr because Derek Carr is always being disrespected like this. I'm a huge Raider fan. And another thing, let me ask you a question. Just because I'm willing to shut those things off and not watch the Dodgers or basketball because I'm tired of all the politics, Roberto, how does that make me not a sports fan? You said I wasn't a sports fan last week because I'm willing to change the channel because I don't want to hear the propaganda.
Yeah,
you're not me being a sports fan.
You're not really a sports fan. If that bothers you that much and you're not going to watch sports because of it, you're not really a sports fan in my eyes.
I disagree. I think. Thanks for the call, Jose.
If you're that triggered, you're not really a sports fan. I'm sorry.
I disagree. I think everybody has a line where they won't cross because it bothers them enough that they're and I'll give you an example. If I like Marvel movies, right? Take it completely out of the world of sports. If in order to watch every Marvel movie, I had to watch Tony Stark come out, and for 5 minutes he lectured me on his favorite political causes before every Marvel movie started, I'd be like, you know what? I'm not going to go to the movie theater and watch the newest Marvel movie. And it could be, any of the characters, right? They're all superheroes, but before the movie starts, Spider-Man comes out and he's like, hey, I want to talk to you for the next 5 minutes about things that I care about politically before you watch me play Spider-Man. I'd be like, yeah, sorry, bud. I'm not going to pay my money to go sit down in front of an IMAX theater and watch you lecture me for 5 minutes about whatever political causes you care about. I'll watch the movie. I'm paying for the movie. I'm interested, but I don't care about your politics at all. And I think there are a lot of sports fans that are basically on that position. Doesn't mean that I wouldn't like the Marvel movies. Doesn't mean that I don't like sports, but I'm not buying your lecturing me on sports as the lead-in for that. NFL Eve, as we get ready for the return of the NFL, everybody has succumbing or is succumbing to the absurd sports woke virus. The latest evidence of this, I mean, Colin Kaepernick is in the newest Madden video game, and he is rated higher than half of the starters in the NFL, including Kyler Murray, Cam Newton, Ryan Tannehill, and Jared Goff. He's got the same rating as first ballot NFL Hall of Famer Ben Roethlisberger. He's 5 points higher than he was 4 years ago, the last time he actually played in the NFL. This is an example of propaganda that is being foisted upon us, of the politicization of sports, which has absolutely no basis in reality. A lot of people want to weigh in. Does everybody on the show agree that this is thoroughly ridiculous? Does anybody want to defend Madden at all? Open forum, Danny G, Dub, Eddie Garcia, Roberto. Anybody like this move? Anybody like, yeah, this makes total sense?
At first, I thought you said he was at 75. But you say they have him at 81?
Yeah, he's at 81. He was at 75 4 years ago.
Yeah, that's too high.
I mean, it's utterly ridiculous. I mean, he's rated higher than half the starters in the NFL.
And what about Roethlisberger? It's all the way down to 81 now. Wow, he's falling off.
Yeah, but at least Roethlisberger, you can argue. This goes to the point, which is the ratings of players is what gives Madden its legitimacy. That they are looking at all the stats, and you can agree or disagree with them, but they're looking at all the stats and saying, we're comparing all these different quarterbacks, and this is how they would rate on basically the overall talent level on the game. And I'm not saying they're perfect, but this is what they do for a living, and this is literally how they market the game, is our ratings are reliable. And players, as you mentioned, Danny G, are always complaining like, man, my speed's too low. Like, they have guys who work at Madden that are the liaisons to be able to talk to players and field their complaints because they're like, man, you didn't get me. Like, you know, you got this dude at that, and, you know, my numbers are off. Like, this is one of the common complaints in sports. Athletes trust Madden to get it right.
But he is a free agent, right? He's not on any team, so, I mean, he's not put on any team, though.
Yeah, but, I mean, come on. Like, the idea that he's better than half the teams, I mean, this basically
that's
calls
false.
into question every decision that's being made by an NFL team. I mean, there isn't a single human on earth that would rather have Colin Kaepernick on their team than Kyler Murray. I mean,
that's false.
I mean, Kyler Murray coming into his second season could have a Lamar Jackson-like incredible second season based on some of the signs, if you're a Cardinals fan, some of the signs that were apparent for him down the stretch run. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen, but there's a lot of reason for optimism. Madden is saying that Colin Kaepernick not having played for 4 years is substantially better than Kyler Murray. I mean, it's just crazy. A lot of people want to weigh in. 877-996-6369. And look, I understand to be like, oh, well, they got you to talk about it. Well, they got you to talk about it. Yeah, but talking about everything is not good advertisement for Madden. Because I don't think there's a single person listening to me right now that's like, oh, I'm going to go buy that game that wasn't going to buy it before. As a parent, I'm infinitely less likely to buy it for my kids based on the decision to put Colin Kaepernick in the game. By far. And otherwise, I'm pretty much an easy mark, right? Like, my kids come to me and they're like, hey, Dad, there's a new version of so-and-so. Can we get it? I'm like, yeah. And then my wife comes to me and she's like, oh, did you tell them you could get this game? Yeah, that was me. Well, you're supposed to make, you know, I'm always getting lectured because I'm an easy target. Like, oh, Dad, can we get this new thing that's on the internet? Yeah, you can get it. And Mom comes to me and she's like, what are you talking? Why did you let them do this?
The bigger issue I have is the game. They haven't really the game hasn't really changed much in the last couple of years.
Well, that's why a lot of people have, and that's why you don't necessarily need to buy the new version. And there's arguments out there.
Well, the only reason why you buy the new game is because all the rosters are updated, and you can update the rosters in the old game, which sucks.
Yeah, but also there's a lot of people over the years that have been complaining that the overall quality of the game has gone down if you're a video game junkie since they gave exclusive rights. You know, they used to have 2K for the NFL too, right? And in general, competition makes a product better. And when there's only one way to play an NFL football game, there are arguments out there from people who are far more technologically savvy in video games than I am that the overall quality of the video game has not been increasing at the same level because they have a monopoly. And so they know that they don't have to worry about competing with anybody else. They've got your money already. Who's up first, Danny G? Dub, I mean. Is Danny G there? Did he die during commercial breaks?
No, I'm here working on the podcast, but I knew you were going to Dub, not me.
Yeah.
I thought we had a VIP on deck. All right.
All right.
Let's put it on Clay, who made the first error.
Yes. All right. There's two people that I have to call to get calls. So, Dub, you are up. You can select the first caller.
All right, let's go to Charlie in Dayton.
Charlie, what you got for me?
Well, about a week ago, I don't know if you saw this play, but there was a Metacritic rating of 0.8 out of 10 for Madden, and there was like a big move to boycott the game. So now you got Colin Kaepernick on the game. So now it looks like if you're boycotting the game, you're boycotting Colin Kaepernick, and it's a good reason to argue for the people who say that Colin Kaepernick should be back in the league, because now they can look and say, oh, well, he's rated higher than half the guys that start. He should be in the league.
It's why it's propaganda.
Everybody who boycotts the game is anti-woke, anti-Black Lives Matter now. And really, Madden's just garbage. It's a garbage game. And this is desperation.
Why was it's an interesting question. Why? And I'm not plugged in enough into the video game community, but I had heard that there was unhappiness with the Madden product. Why are gamers saying they want to boycott Madden? Because the game is just not evolved very well?
They gave it a 0.8 rating. It hasn't been good. I don't think it's been good for 15 years, personally, but people keep buying it because it's Madden. You know, it's the game we all love.
Because there's no competition. Yeah.
Oh, no. If 2K made a football game, it'd be game over. I mean, they're already taking over golf and everything else. They make better sports games. So it's not a good game. And this seems so desperate. And if they're going to just start putting fake players in, they should put Bobby Boucher in. Have a good one, Clay.
Thanks for the call. The Waterboy would probably do well coming off the edge as a Madden elite pass rush expert. Who we got next?
We got Jared in Iowa.
Jared, what do you got for me?
Hey, what's up, guys? Just weighing in on that Madden thing. I mean, you guys already touched up on everything about, it doesn't make any sense that he's better than half the starting quarterback. The only thing I can maybe see putting him in the game is if they follow kind of NBA 2K's thing with putting historic teams in there, maybe with his Super Bowl run back in the day when he was rushing over the Packers and all that kind of stuff. But even then, he didn't even win the Super Bowl, so it literally makes no sense to me to have him in the game. Only maybe historic teams if they follow NBA 2K type of thing.
Yeah, historic teams is interesting. And I don't have any problem at all with that and being able to move around players and everything else. But the idea that you're providing an accurate reflection of NFL football in the year 2020 and that Colin Kaepernick is better than half of the quarterbacks in the NFL it's 100 billion% propaganda. And when did sports become political propaganda? That's where we are now, frankly, unfortunately. Who's up next?
We got Dan in St. Louis.
Dan, fire away.
Hey, Clay, I think there's been two precedents set. One on Madden and and you can ask Danny G as well as Roberto. When Creed came out, he's not even no kind of athlete. He was on the basketball game and the football game. And another thing that a precedent has been set.
Hold on, this is the boxer?
The boxer, correct. And you could ask anybody.
They just randomly put a boxer into basketball games?
The basketball game and the football game. It's a journey.
At least you can argue there they probably just took the money. Because that's clearly an advertisement. I don't know, but you're saying that Colin Kaepernick. But Creed is a fictional character.
Correct, but I don't understand how people wasn't outraged with that if they are talking about authentic for the NFL. If it's authenticity for the NFL, why have a fictional character on a football game? And then the other thing I would ask.
By the way, I think Jesus. How do you think Jesus' Madden rating would be? If we're going to put fictional characters in at quarterback, what do you think Jesus' speed would look like? Would he play in sandals?
You know what? I don't know. I would say this. There's so many people who don't believe in Jesus, so he'd probably get an 0.8 rating. But I would tell you this, though. Also, if you remember, people were this outraged when Kaepernick was the face of Nike, and everybody said that was a dumb move, and then all of a sudden it exploded. If you could talk
well,
about
but let me
that,
say
I
this:
appreciate it.
Nike abandoned Colin Kaepernick really quickly. Like you don't walk into any store and see Colin Kaepernick billboards. I don't think you can walk into, and I'm not a sneaker expert, but I don't think. Thanks for the call. I don't think you can walk into any like sporting goods store and buy Colin Kaepernick shoes. You guys in California can't even walk into stores still. Can you even leave your houses? I can at least go into stores everywhere here in Tennessee, and I think I'm correct. Can anybody back me up here? They've had like exclusive online sale of Colin Kaepernick limited apparel and stuff like that, but it's not as if I've ever seen going into any store like Colin Kaepernick as the face of Nike. They did one commercial for him. Can you guys back me up on this? I mean, if you walk into a Foot Locker, can you buy a Colin Kaepernick shoe?
I haven't been in a store in like 6-7 months.
Yeah, you're asking the wrong people.
But,
we haven't been in the
back
mall
when
in
you
months.
could actually go into stores. Have any of you ever seen a Colin Kaepernick product for sale in an actual sporting goods store?
I've never seen a cutout of him or anything like that.
Or a billboard?
No.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, they got attention for the decision, but then I think they got so much blowback that they were like, oh, we're not going to make him in any way the face of any of our campaigns. In fact, I can only remember one commercial where he's ever appeared in it. Maybe two. I mean, I know they've thrown out a few things online and they've done like Colin Kaepernick exclusive shoes or something like that, but by and large, you just buy those online. And I don't know, but do you guys know, you were specifically asked, are you experts in Creed being involved in video games?
I do not remember that. I had no idea. It's the first time I heard about it.
I don't know anything about that. But he's not rated as better than half the NFL starting quarterbacks. I do wonder about Jesus, though.
It would be cool if Rocky was in a video game, though.
Rocky? I mean, you could put Rocky in. I mean, I kind of wonder where would Jesus rank on quarterbacks.
Oh, 100.
I mean, if you're going to put people in, why not have Jesus in, playing in the sandals, put him under center in the robes?
It's got to be the first. It's 99.
First ballot Hall of Famer. Yeah. He'd have to be at 99, right?
I mean, your son has you in at quarterback, so anything's possible.
I mean, that's right. On his design team, Clay Travis is a Hall of Fame
now,
quarterback.
Can the Madden version of you do more push-ups than the real version of you?
I mean, it's hard for a normal human to do more push-ups than me. I mean, so I would imagine that I would be pretty extraordinary there as well. Dub, who's up next?
I think I'd put Jesus
Dub,
in the slot.
do you know anything about Creed?
Well, when he first said that, I'm going to be honest with you, I thought he was talking about the band Creed. I was like, what?
Yeah,
what
I did
is
too.
This
I
guy
was like, man,
talking
that's
about?
yeah. That would be a big that would be a big surprise.
Yeah.
But do you know anything about this Creed analogy?
I have no idea. I mean, I play like 3 video games now. It's Madden, FIFA, and then I've been playing the new PGA 2K game as of late.
Do you agree that 2K is better than EA?
The golf game's awesome. It's hard, but the other one was too easy. So, I mean, I'm glad it's actually difficult. So,
I mean, competition makes things better.
Absolutely.
I mean, right? That's in theory what the goal of competition in general is. And so the idea that Madden has had an exclusive NFL franchise for years, it doesn't surprise me that they would scrimp on development details and costs.
I think EA messed up when they took Tiger's name out of the video game. Do you agree with that, Dub, or no?
Yeah, I do, because I used to play – before this new 2K game came out, I was still playing Rory McIlroy, 16 I think it is, which was the last golf video game. They stopped making it after that until this year, just a few weeks ago, they came out with the 2K PGA game. So, yeah, I think taking Tiger out of it was a huge mistake because the games were actually awesome when it was Tiger Woods PGA Tour. But now,
I used to love that game.
Yeah, it was a great game.
What do we got? We got more calls, or we need to go to break and get ready for John Morosi?
We got one more quick one. We got Mark in Indiana.
Okay, Mark, what you got for me?
Hey, Clay, love the show. Hey, I think the reason he's rated so high is so, people will use him and he'll get, more exposure, that, hey, he's 81, so I'm going to put him on my team. And also an interesting thing is when you sign him on your team in the game, a big screen comes up and says, congratulations, you're gonna sign Colin Kaepernick to your team. But if you sign any other free agent quarterback, it asks you, are you sure you want to sign this guy? And that just seems weird to me. It's like they're just totally going overboard here.
It's just ridiculous. I mean, again, my general thesis is, and I've been hammering this, and I believe I've been proven right and will continue to be proven right, sports is bending over backwards to try and make 20% of the sports community at most that is woke happy. And in doing that, they are alienating 80% of their audience base, right? I think there are 20% of people that are like, I want social justice warrior slogans on the back of NBA jerseys. I think that might be an exaggeration, but I say 20%, right? 1 in 5 of sports fans. I think there are a tiny number of sports fans out there that are obsessed with Colin Kaepernick and whether or not he's playing, because most sports fans just look at the data and say, yeah, the guy wasn't that good. He got beat by Blaine Gabbert, and he created a lot of distractions for teams. And as a result, I don't think he's worth the risk, given the fact that he's over 30 years old now, and he's probably peaked. I mean, look, we got guys like Cam Newton signing for $1 million a year. Cam Newton was an MVP in this league a few years ago and took his team to the Super Bowl, and he's worth $1 million a year. And you're telling me that Colin Kaepernick is worth more than that? I mean, Jameis Winston threw 30 touchdown passes. Now, he also threw 30 interceptions last year, but all he was worth on the open market was $1 million. And you're telling me Colin Kaepernick, who hasn't played in years, is worth more than Cam or Jameis Winston would be worth, or worth more than Andy Dalton, who signed for $3 or $4 million with the Dallas Cowboys? I mean, it's crazy. It's absolute insane crazy talk.